Welcome aboard, everybody. It's Captain D. We're back in the Black-hawk for our second episode. We are sitting at HELNJ, which is a helipad close to Monument Valley, Utah. Today we're going to take a short tour flight around the Orbix Monument Valley scenery and discuss some of the features of the Black-hawk. Right now I have loaded up the Navy variant of the Black-hawk. If you go to the BFDG menu here, it gives you the options to change all of the things that are changeable within the aircraft. If you want the Seahawk variant, which moves the tail wheel forward, as you can see there, you can go with the Pavehawk, which adds some other things to the helicopter. You can also add external tanks, up to 4 of them. The radome for the radar, a nose flare or forward-looking infrared. You can put cargo crates in the cabin. You can also do seats for your passengers, load and unload your passengers. You can do a hoist crew, sling load, hoist extraction. However, on the ground that doesn't do much, so we'll go over some of that stuff in the air. Alright, we are back in the cockpit. Where we'll get this thing started. Alright, power's on. Verify there is power to the aircraft. We're going to turn on the APU. Turn on our anti-collision lights. Turn our air source to APU. Turn the fuel lever and the start button. Hold that down until we see the blades start to spin. Then we'll look over here at the turbine gas temperature, make sure that it's within the green. The NG is within the green. Engine 1 is started. Then we'll do the same thing for engine 2. Alright, engine 2 NG is good, turbine gas temperatures are good. We'll turn off the APU. Turn the air source back to engine. Right now we have a low rotor RPM, that's normal. We'll turn on the avionics. Turn on the pitot heat. Turn on the inverters. Make sure our stability augmentation number 1 is on. And we'll spin up the rotors. Alright, now we got the engines spooled up, rotors are at the proper RPM, no warning lights, we are ready to go. All of our external lights are turned on. Take a quick look around outside. Okay, for today's flight, what we're going to do, Monument Valley Airport is UT-25. Right now we're at a helipad. I just marked a little spot there to mark where we're at. And we're just going to fly around the area and then either land at Monument Valley or come back here. Alright, rotor area is clear. Passenger briefing. Everybody's got their seatbelts on. Good. And we're airborne. We're going to keep the speed pretty low until we climb up a little bit here. Down there at some of those rock formations. As we discussed in the first Black-hawk episode we did, this helicopter does have an autopilot. For this flight I will probably use the autopilot a little bit when I click through the menus and stuff, just because it's hard to let go of the controls and go through some of the features. Alright, autopilot is engaged. We're going to level off here at about 7,700 feet. and switch to the outside view where we can go over some of these features. Alright, so like I said, you can do a sling load here, and this puts a load in. It actually does change the weight and balance of the aircraft. You can do some changes within the regular X-plane menu to put in the weight that you want. Right now it's set at nothing because I don't want it to interfere with the autopilot while doing this demonstration. So you can do a hoist the crew down, give this guy a wild ride. And because this guy's feeling lonely, he needs some friends. So we can do the hoist extraction, which extracts a whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. You can also add the refueling probe for aerial refueling. And you can do earplugs, which makes the sound a little quieter. Alright, back in the cockpit, we need to turn around and head to Monument Valley. This is kind of the edge of the scenery here. You can see where it changes from Orbix back to the default textures.
I'm gonna shut up and quit talking here for a little bit and let you guys just look out the windows and check out the scenery. If you're interested in purchasing this scenery, it can be found on the Orbix Direct site or through the Orbix Central app thing.
Inside the cockpit over here we have the radio stack and the autopilot. Right now we're on heading and altitude mode. You can do flight level change, VNAV. It also has a terrain system. When you are 200 feet above the ground, you can select the terrain option and it should follow the terrain. I have not been able to quite get that to work yet, so I'm not sure if it's actually modeled. And Monument Valley is right in front of us. Right now we are right above Monument Valley, but we're gonna take a little detour here. We'll kick off the autopilot, do some hand flying. At these altitudes and this density, though, you can't really yank and bank. You cause yourself some problems and get to make your engine's compressor stall. So you kind of got to be smooth about how you fly it, though. You can still have a lot of fun at higher altitudes. Just got to be a little bit more careful. We're about 150 feet above the ground right now. So if I remember the map on the Orbix site correctly, the scenery ends after this little mountain range up here, so we'll fly up there and take a look. I don't want to fly into the clouds, so we're going to break off here. And go around. And as we can see, the scenery starts to change a little bit back to the original X-plane default. Turn back around here. Alright, looks like we're out of most of that fog. Climb up a little bit. Monument Valley's nestled right down here next to these cliff sides. Shall we buzz the church? Why not? Alright, we're going to climb up, gain some altitude, and take a look at the other side of Monument Valley. Black-hawk does its best rate to climb between 1200 and 1500 in high density altitude. And we're 1,000 feet above the ground. The chart says that that peak is 6,725 feet MSL. There's really not much else on this side other than some more rock formation off to the right here. So we'll take a sweeping right turn, and you all can take out your cameras and start taking some pictures. It's amazing when you stop and think all of this was created thousands and thousands of years ago by glaciers. And now there's not a drop of water in sight. There's a big hotel. There's also a helipad, which is where we took off from. RV park. Nice place for a family vacation. Not sure what was going on the road back there. Let's go take a look. Must be some kind of campground entrance. Toll booth. Another look at the hotel. And that pretty much concludes our tour, so we will head back to Monument Valley Airport and land there. according to the Google Maps, this is a Navajo Indian Heritage Museum right here. And that concludes our tour. I hope you guys enjoyed the flight. If you do, make sure you like and subscribe so you'll be notified for future episodes. And until next time, see you later.